Tired of feeling overwhelmed by the constant noise of the modern world? Discover the surprising power of silence and learn how to create a peaceful oasis in your daily life, even amidst the chaos. Tired of feeling overwhelmed by the constant noise of the modern world? If your mind is always buzzing, from social media notifications, non-stop emails, a hum of city traffic, or even the pressure to always be on, you're not alone. We live in an age where silence feels rare, almost foreign. But what if that very silence, the kind you've been taught to fear or avoid, is exactly what your body and soul are craving? In today's hyper-connected world, we often associate silence with awkwardness, boredom, or even loneliness. We fill every gap with sound, podcasts during a walk, music in the shower, TV as background noise. There's barely a moment when we allow ourselves to simply be. But here's the truth: silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a presence. A space where healing begins, where clarity emerges, and where the mind finally gets a chance to breathe. Imagine your mind as a chalkboard cluttered with messages, reminders, and scribbles from the world. Silence is the gentle eraser, wiping away the noise, leaving behind clarity. Yet, for many of us, the idea of sitting in silence feels uncomfortable. Why? Because silence forces us to face ourselves, our thoughts, our fears, our truths. But it's precisely in that stillness that transformation begins. This video isn't just about unplugging or finding a quiet room. It's about something much deeper, a shift in how we relate to the world and to ourselves. Is the constant barrage of information and stimulation leaving you feeling exhausted, scattered, or anxious? You're not imagining it. Research shows that constant exposure to noise and digital input can trigger stress responses in the brain, reduce focus, and even contribute to burnout. We're wired for quiet, but we've forgotten how to seek it. So, what's the solution? We'll explore that together. In this episode, we'll uncover the unexpected benefits of silence, from mental clarity and emotional regulation to improved creativity and physical well-being. You'll also learn practical, realistic ways to invite silence into your life, even if you're surrounded by chaos or live in a busy home. No, this doesn't mean becoming a monk or giving up your phone. It means reclaiming small sacred moments of peace, moments that can radically shift your mood, your productivity, and your connection to yourself. Silence, believe it or not, is a powerful teacher. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand. It simply invites. And if you listen closely, it might just show you who you really are beneath all the noise. So stay with us. You don't need perfect quiet to discover the power of silence. You just need a willingness to pause, and that pause begins right here, right now. 1. Silence reduces stress and enhances mental clarity. In a world where noise never seems to stop, buzzing notifications, endless conversations, blaring traffic, and even the subtle hum of electronics, silence has become a rare and undervalued gift. But what if I told you that just a few moments of silence each day could profoundly change the way you think, feel, and function? Scientific research shows that prolonged exposure to noise doesn't just irritate us, it actually increases our cortisol levels. Cortisol is our primary stress hormone, and when it's elevated for long periods, it can trigger anxiety, fatigue, burnout, and even long-term health problems. Think about it: when you're stuck in traffic or working in a chaotic office, your body isn't just reacting emotionally, it's physically under stress. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine stepping into a moment of pure stillness. No distractions. No demands. Just silence. Surprisingly, even 2 minutes of intentional silence can lower your blood pressure and heart rate. It's like a mini reset button for your nervous system. In that silence, the brain shifts from a reactive mode into a state of reflection. This is when your mind begins to clear. Mental clutter fades. Thoughts settle. The constant inner noise that often goes unnoticed, worries, to-do lists, comparisons, begins to quiet down. Silence isn't emptiness. It's actually full of potential. It gives your mind space to breathe and your thoughts room to stretch. This clarity leads to sharper focus, better decision-making, and a deeper sense of emotional balance. You're no longer reacting impulsively to external chaos, you're responding mindfully from a place of calm and control. In fact, some of the world's most successful thinkers, artists, and leaders swear by periods of intentional silence. It helps them generate ideas, reflect more deeply, and make impactful choices. And it's not just for creatives or spiritual seekers, anyone can benefit. Whether it's turning off the radio during your morning drive or sitting in complete stillness before bed, incorporating silence into your routine can become a powerful tool for mental well-being. So, if you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, scattered, or emotionally drained, maybe what you need isn't more productivity or more distractions, but more silence. Just a few quiet moments each day can recharge your brain, lower your stress, and bring you back to center. Try it. Turn everything off. Close your eyes. And listen to nothing. You might just find everything you've been searching for hidden in that very silence. 2. Silence boosts creativity and problem solving. We live in a world buzzing with constant noise, phone notifications, background chatter, social media updates, and an endless stream of content. In the middle of all this chaos, silence might feel awkward, even uncomfortable. But what if I told you that silence is not just soothing, it's actually a powerful tool for boosting creativity and solving complex problems? When we disconnect from the noise and allow ourselves moments of true stillness, something fascinating happens inside our brain. Instead of shutting down, the brain switches into what scientists call the default mode network. This is not just some resting state, it's a rich, active state where imagination, self-reflection, and deep thinking take center stage. It's in this quiet zone that new ideas begin to bubble up, seemingly out of nowhere. Think about the last time you had a great idea. Was it during a noisy meeting? Probably not. Chances are, it came while you were in the shower, taking a walk, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. That's no coincidence. When external input is minimized, the brain gets room to wander, connect distant dots, and explore uncharted mental territory. Silence becomes the canvas for innovation. Even just a few minutes of silence each day can dramatically shift your mental clarity. Regular silent breaks act like a reset button for your brain. They filter out distractions, calm mental chatter, and create the mental space needed for fresh insights. Instead of reacting to the world around us, we start listening to the world within us, and that's where true creativity lives. Problem solving also thrives in silence. When we stop bombarding ourselves with information and let our minds settle, we start to see patterns and solutions that were hidden before. It's like stepping back from a painting, the bigger picture becomes clearer. In silence, we give our brains permission to slow down, reassess, and find more thoughtful, innovative ways forward. So next time you're stuck on a project, overwhelmed by decisions, or just craving inspiration, try doing nothing. Literally. No music, no scrolling, no multitasking. Just sit in the quiet and let your mind do what it does best when left alone: create. In a world that glorifies hustle and noise, silence might seem counterintuitive. But it's often in the quietest moments that our loudest breakthroughs are born. So embrace the stillness, your next big idea could be waiting there. 3. Silence improves listening and emotional intelligence. We live in a world that celebrates noise, constant chatter, fast replies, and always having something to say. But what if silence is the real superpower in communication? Surprisingly, practicing silence, especially in conversations, can transform not only the way we interact with others but also how we understand ourselves. It's not about being quiet for the sake of it. It's about using silence as a conscious tool to deepen listening, sharpen emotional awareness, and nurture more meaningful relationships. When we choose silence instead of jumping to respond, we give ourselves a moment to actually hear what's being said, not just the words, but the tone, the pauses, the emotions behind them. Often, we're already preparing our reply before the other person finishes speaking. But in doing that, we miss the depth of their message. Practicing silence teaches us to slow down and listen with intention. It allows us to hear the unsaid, to pick up on subtle cues, and to notice shifts in energy or body language that we would otherwise overlook. And when people feel truly heard, trust grows. But silence doesn't just help us understand others, it also helps us understand ourselves. That moment of pause creates space to process our emotions, to recognize how a certain comment made us feel, and to choose our responses rather than react impulsively. This is where emotional intelligence begins to bloom. Instead of letting our emotions control us, we become aware of them. We ask ourselves, am I hurt, or just surprised? Am I angry, or do I feel misunderstood? That self-reflection is the first step toward emotional regulation, and it starts with silence. Over time, this habit of quiet reflection enhances our empathy. We no longer listen just to reply, but to connect. We become more patient, more compassionate, and less reactive. Our conversations become less about winning or defending and more about understanding and supporting. And that shift? It changes everything, from our closest relationships to how we handle conflict at work. In a society that often sees silence as awkward or uncomfortable, embracing it can feel radical. But the most emotionally intelligent people aren't always the loudest in the room. They're often the ones who listen deeply, feel deeply, and respond thoughtfully. So, the next time you're in a conversation, try pausing. Let silence speak. You might be surprised how much more you actually hear from others, and from yourself. 4. Silence is linked to brain growth. In a world constantly buzzing with noise, notifications, conversations, traffic, and never-ending digital chatter, silence feels like a rare luxury. But what if I told you that silence isn't just peaceful, it's powerful? In fact, silence might be exactly what your brain needs to grow. According to a 2013 study published in the journal Brain Structure and Function, researchers discovered something fascinating. 2 hours of silence each day led to the development of new brain cells in the hippocampus. That's the region of the brain responsible for learning, memory, and even emotional regulation. Think about that for a second. While most of us believe growth happens during activity or stimulation, this study suggests the opposite. Silence, not noise, is what actually helps regenerate the brain. Unlike the mental strain that constant sound can impose, silence allows the brain to reset. It enters a kind of restful alertness, a state where it can focus inward, repair itself, and strengthen neural connections. The hippocampus is especially sensitive to external stressors. Chronic exposure to noise can impair its function, disrupt memory, and even contribute to anxiety. But silence, pure, uninterrupted stillness acts as a form of mental nutrition. It gives the brain space to process, consolidate, and rewire. It's no surprise then that silent retreats, mindfulness practices, and even short digital detoxes are now being prescribed like medicine in many wellness circles. But here's the real kicker: this kind of brain growth isn't just for monks or meditation gurus. It's for everyone. Just stepping away from the chaos of modern life for a couple of hours, no music, no podcasts, no screens, can trigger internal changes that go far beyond relaxation. We're talking about physical brain regeneration. It's like going to the gym for your mind, except instead of lifting weights, you're embracing stillness. So next time you feel overwhelmed or creatively blocked, don't reach for your phone. Reach for quiet. Carve out time where there is no noise, no input, just breath and being. It might feel awkward at first, like something is missing. But stick with it. Your brain is doing important work behind the scenes. And over time, you might just notice you're thinking clearer, remembering better, and even feeling more emotionally balanced. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. And now, science confirms it's full of growth too. 5. You can cultivate silence without isolation. In a world where noise is constant, from buzzing phones to endless notifications, conversations, traffic, and background media, silence can feel like a rare luxury. We often associate true silence with solitude or even isolation. Think mountain retreats, remote monasteries, or digital detoxes deep in the woods. But the truth is, you don't have to run away from your life to enjoy the quiet. You can cultivate silence in small, meaningful ways right where you are. Silence isn't about being completely alone or cutting yourself off from the world. It's about carving out intentional moments of stillness in your everyday routine. These micro moments of peace, what I like to call silence pockets, can be just a few seconds or minutes, but their impact is powerful. Imagine starting your day with 5 minutes of quiet before your phone lights up. No talking. No scrolling. Just you, your breath, and the beginning of a new day. That tiny window can shape your mood, your mindset, and even how you respond to stress. You can bring silence into your life through things as simple as a phone-free walk in the evening. Leave the earbuds behind and listen instead to the world, the wind, the rustling trees, the distant hum of life, all without the intrusion of artificial sound. Meals without screens, conversations with intentional pauses, or even a quiet car ride without music can all serve as gateways to stillness. The goal isn't to disconnect from others, but to reconnect with yourself. Many of us fear silence because we think it means something's wrong, like boredom, loneliness, or awkwardness. But in reality, silence is where clarity begins. It's where thoughts settle. It's where you can hear what you're truly feeling beneath the surface noise. In that quiet, even for a moment, you return to yourself. You don't need a cabin in the woods to find peace. You need awareness. You need intention. When you choose silence even briefly, you're telling your brain, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to breathe. And when you do that consistently, silence becomes a sanctuary you can return to anytime, anywhere. So today, start small. Take 60 silent seconds before you open your inbox. Walk without distractions. Eat without entertainment. Build your own quiet corners, not to escape the world, but to face it with more calm, clarity, and presence. Because silence, when chosen, doesn't isolate. It empowers. As we wrap up this exploration of silence, take a moment, just one, to really breathe. Let the noise settle, even if only for a heartbeat. Let yourself notice the stillness, the calm beneath the surface. It's there. It always has been. We just forget to notice. In a world that constantly demands our attention, that bombards us with messages, advertisements, breaking news, and the pressure to always be doing, choosing silence is nothing short of revolutionary. It's a quiet rebellion. A declaration that your well-being matters more than your notifications. That your peace is worth protecting. We've talked about how silence isn't just about muting the outside world, it's about tuning into yourself. It's about letting go of distractions long enough to hear what your heart's been trying to say. Silence can ground you. It can guide you. And it can heal you in ways that noise never will. Maybe you start with 5 minutes in the morning, no music, no scrolling, just you and your breath. Or maybe you take a walk without your headphones, letting nature's subtle sounds recalibrate your senses. You don't need to escape to the mountains to find silence. Sometimes, it's found in a pause between conversations, in sitting quietly with a cup of tea, or in choosing not to respond right away. It's not about isolation. It's about intention. Silence is a skill, one we can relearn. The more we practice it, the more we begin to notice its gifts: heightened focus, emotional balance, deeper creativity, and a renewed sense of connection with what truly matters. But most importantly, silence teaches us presence. And presence is where life truly happens. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, overstimulated, or stretched too thin, ask yourself, when was the last time I allowed myself a moment of real silence? Not just quiet, but true stillness. And if it's been a while, maybe it's time to come home, not to a place, but to a space within you where peace has always been waiting. If this video helped you reconnect with the value of silence, consider sharing it with someone who might need a pause in their life too. Leave us a comment below. What does silence mean to you? How do you create it in your own world? And don't forget to subscribe for more soulful, thought-provoking content that invites you to slow down, reflect, and live more intentionally, one quiet moment at a time. Until next time, stay still, stay present, and never underestimate the power of silence in a noisy world.